Welcome everyone to Ninja Monkey. I'm Nathan, and hopefully everything is running and you can hear me and all that jazz. But hey, we are here. It's Sunday or Monday, depending on where you're watching from. And I'm Nathan. I'm here to try to answer your questions. I'm quite an honest sort of guy. I know when, I'm an honest dude. If I don't know the answer to a question, then it's fine. I'll try to figure it out for the future. But yeah. Hey, wait a minute. It says I'm streaming, but I'm not streaming. What's going on? Okay, am I live? Am I live? I'm live. Hey everyone. Okay. For a minute, it was hey everyone. I thought it wasn't working. Okay, but we're here. So I just want to explain a few sort of ground rules. This is mainly a Q&A. Obviously, we're here to support one another. If you have any questions, then at Ninja Monkey, or make sure that it's a question. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves. Feel free to answer the questions too, to help one another out. And as always, I will prioritize super chats. I will prioritize Patreon members, and any other sort of donations. It literally is the lifeline of the channel. So, but as always, thank you so much. And don't forget to hit the like button. And if you have any socials, then you might want to share. Because, yeah. Yeah, and I was a little bit paranoid about the sound today, just because on Wednesday I had some random issues. So I've been sat here for the last 40 minutes in front of the computer trying to make sure that everything's working fine, and I think it is. So, welcome to Ninja Monkey. Let's get started. Right. Let's see. Where is my chat? That would be useful, right? If I could actually see what you guys are saying. All right. All right. Daniel says, I bought a what's a JI? A JR Sanyo-san in Northern Kyushu area pass, which covers everywhere from Nagasaki to Kyoto. Do you advise making reservations for every trip, or can I just show up at the station? I think, Daniel, if you're watching, that one of the advantages of having a JR pass is that you can make, I think, up to 3 reservations per day, if I remember right. So doing a reservation isn't going to be, it's actually free. So I would make reservations, and if you do need to change your plans, then go and change your plans. That's what I would do. Anthony Moreno, I hope you're doing okay, dude. Glad you're here. Hi, would you say the only way to navigate having a food allergy would be to learn some Japanese? Unfortunately, probably yes. Knowing clearly some Japanese, but I think that really, depending on your allergies and how severe they are, obviously, I would personally do as much research as I could possibly do before I went to Japan, which is obviously what you're doing by being on this chat, which means that I would actually find some allergy friendly restaurants that you can fall back on if you're not sure. If you go somewhere and you're just not confident, then you have some backups. That's what I would do. And the second thing is that one place that I can definitely recommend is Kokokari. Kokokari has a very, very good allergy sort of list, so I hope that helps. Laura McGray, how are you doing? JJI, thank you so much, and Philippe for being my moderators this evening. Saika, good afternoon from Colorado. Awesome. Anthony, glad you're here. Hello everybody from Italia. Wow. Adriano, awesome. Italy, I love Italy. Saika is hot today, really? Waiting for future in now. Go Wander Down Under is here also. All the regulars here. You're live and we can hear you, Nathan. Thank you. Okay, I'm just trying to Michelle, how are you doing? Just trying to sort of figure out what's going on. Hey. Okay, any questions? Remember, arriving next week in Tokyo, seeing temperatures over 30 Celsius, correct? Probably, you know, I would probably guess that it's still going to be relatively warm for the first 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks of September. We'll be going to Japan. Report field. Awesome. Music is a little bit loud. Let me just fix that. Now it's a little bit late, but hopefully. Samurai India. Hi. For me, one of the hardest parts that I'm seeing is that I will have issues taking trains. In my country, we don't have trains, and Japan has so many stations and lines. Hey, Samurai India actually did a whole guide, very comprehensive. Took a lot of time to put together. I recommend that you watch it. Maybe one of my moderators can actually share it, the train guide. Definitely watching that guide will give you some confidence before you go to Japan. It's not that difficult. It's not going. You don't have to worry. And if you're not part of the Discord, also, it's a great community you can be part of, and we can actually help you out there too. I am very Genki, Jennifer. More Genki than on Wednesday, because on Wednesday I was just frustrated because the stream wasn't going well. Hi, is it safe to travel in Japan with only cash and debit cards like Revolut and Wise? Thank you so much. I travel only with Revolut, so I think that answers your question. Obviously, you need some cash also. Like, do you recommend buying flight tickets 4 to 6 months before the trip or 1 to 2 months before the trip? I think when it comes to flights to Japan right now, I've been saying this for over a year now. I think the rules are upside down, inside out. And I think that when it comes to flights, you need to set yourself like a top level. What's the most that you're willing to pay? And if you start searching, setting up some tracking, like for example, with Expedia, you can set tracking for routes. You'll actually get alerts. You'll actually get alerts saying the flights that you were tracking has come down in price. And if it goes to a price below what you're willing to pay, then just go for it, regardless of when you start looking. Saika, question. Ninja Monkey, Monkey Nathan, sorry. You just shared some updates about Halloween time in Tokyo and fall leaves. Thanks so much for that video. Outside of Shibuya and Roppongi, have you done other events? I have actually only done Shibuya when it comes to Halloween. This year, I'm gonna be traveling probably to Shinjuku. I'm probably gonna, you see, the thing with Halloween in Tokyo is that it's not really a one-day event, even though the main Halloween night is the main night. It actually happens throughout the week of Halloween. It's a very uniquely Japanese thing. In other countries, Halloween is just one day. But last year in Shibuya, I was going to Shibuya before Halloween, after Halloween, on Halloween, and there were people in costumes. Hey, Lord McGrave, thank you so much. Awesome stuff. Arigatou gozaimasu. Let me just add your name here to the support wall. Thank you. So if you do support me in the support wall, and apart from that, you should get, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but no, maybe I need to move it up. Hold on. I do have some special animations and stuff that I can do. Okay. No. Arigatou gozaimasu. There we go. Took a little bit of time, but I got it to work at the end. Much appreciated. Okay, let's get back to the questions. Hello from Texas, Adam. How are you doing, Adam? Hey Nathan, I'm off to Japan on Tuesday. Whoa, your stream is going to calm some of my pre-flight anxiety. I would turn that anxiety into full-on excitement if I were you, dude. Nothing to be anxious about at this stage. Just be super excited because you're gonna experience some amazing things and you're gonna have an amazing trip, I'm sure. And as always, I've mentioned this many times, but we do have a Discord, and I'm not there all the time, but there's some awesome people on the Discord that will be there to help you. So Dominican Republic, seriously, Lewis, In the Dominican Republic hablan español en la República del Dominican. ¿Cómo se dice? La República del Dominican. How do you say Dominican Republic in Spanish? Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. Dominica Republicana. That's it. Hi, do you think a day trip to Kyoto is enough? Not sure if the bus implementation is in place yet, to go to all the major touristy parts in Kyoto, but wondering if that is worth doing. Hey Jen, first of all, I think that any time in Kyoto is worth it. Is it enough? Again, it all depends on how long your trip is. If you're only in Japan for a week, then you have to measure things, and decisions will be very different accordingly. In terms of the bus, I believe that it is up and running. Is it worth it? It depends on when you want to go. For example, one of my top tips for Kyoto is that you need to hit some of those locations super early in the morning. And I'm pretty sure that the bus doesn't start as early as you could potentially start traveling in Kyoto, if that makes any sense. If you can stay longer than one night, I would recommend it. Greetings from St. Louis. Awesome. We have some really unique people in today, from unique places around the world. Awesome. Cloak Zero Gang, show me your likes. I'm in Japan next month. Staying in Akihabara as usual. I'm planning day trips from there. Awesome. Loads of really cool day trips that you can do from Tokyo. Solo traveling report field is amazing. You're gonna have a great time. Are day trips to Kobe, Nara, and Kyoto worth it? 100%, dude. Like, what? Is that even a question? That's a statement. Only one night's going well? Going well? Yeah, I mean, some people get some really good deals in advance. For me personally, I don't look for flights for longer than like 2 weeks. That's my window, really. Temperature is crazy indeed, Twitter. Let's see. I plan to go for this year for Halloween, but with the overtourism surge, I have decided to reschedule for early February before Sakura season. Anthony Moreno. Awesome. February. I'm actually maybe gonna be there in February. I'm not very sure yet, but yeah. What I was gonna say. Can you change the background color? I might be able to change the background color. I might. I'm not very sure. Let me see if I can. Because I have an app, and I've been having some issues with trying to, it says connection failed. Let's see. What? Okay, I'm changing it only because I know that Anthony wanted me to change it, and also to show you that if you do a super chat or a donation, and I will change the background to whatever color you choose. How about that? We used to do that before, so yellow, Anthony Moreno. Okay, yellow it is. Is it yellow? Is that yellow? Wait a minute. Yellow is a little bit of a strange color too, because yellow, it looks kind of white, doesn't it? But there you go. That's as yellow as I think I can make it. Arigato gozaimasu. Depending on where you go, you could see some plum blossoms. Indeed. What I was gonna say, though, before I move any further, because Anthony Moreno mentioned overtourism, and my last video update, I sort of tackled that video a little bit differently to what I usually do, because usually I just sort of give the updates, and this time I tried to give the update with a little bit of my opinion attached to it. How did you feel about that when it came to the updates? Usually I just say what's going on, but this time I actually decided, you know what, I'm gonna also give my take on things. And my take on overtourism in Japan is that I'm not too sure if you could classify it overtourism yet. Yes, it's heading in that direction. But from my experience in other cities around the world, they really have overtourism problems. And I do think that in many instances, the problem in Japan is that the people are just not used to the tourists. They are in a period of transition of getting used to huge tourist crowds. And like I mentioned in my little thought in the update, a lot of the problem is that tourists have increased, but the infrastructure hasn't really changed too much. Meaning, you've got triple the amount of tourists, but yet the same amount of ticket windows. You've got triple amount of tourists, potentially the same amount of buses or the same size buses, that sort of thing, and that doesn't help either. I'm thinking of doing a standalone video just about that topic. I just don't know how to tackle it without being super boring. República Dominicana. That's what I said before. República Dominicana. It's a little bit of a mouthful, that one. Heather, hello from Colorado. Nice one. Yes, hablo español. I do. We speak Spanish also. I actually have a second Spanish channel, shorts channel. I need to give it a little bit more love, to be honest. Those buses are horrible, too much people. There you go. Retro Mario, hi again. I'm excited and anxious because my trip in Japan is 10 days. Don't be anxious, be excited. We changed the first activity to visit the National Art Museum. That's near my hotel and has a clamp exhibition. Awesome. It's always nice to see what people plan, for the first days. Guys, 65 people watching. I don't know how many likes, but how many likes do we have? 27 likes, guys. Come on, can we get it up to 66? You're going back, Effie, because it wasn't enough. I totally understand. Yeah, actually, my Spanish I am bilingual. In theory, I speak English and Spanish pretty much equally. But then the thing is that because I speak more English and Spanish nowadays, sometimes I just need a reminder of how to say things, and then I can say them, no problem. Puedo hablar español sin problema. Hi from New Zealand. Seriously, everyone is from all freaking around the world today. It's pretty cool, Michael. Very cool. Interestingly, for those of you who are not aware, I actually live in Gibraltar. I'm actually right now in Europe, in the south of Europe, in a place called Gibraltar. The Rock of Gibraltar is sort of famous around the world. And New Zealand and Gibraltar are literally opposites. If you look at a globe, you will see that Gibraltar and New Zealand are polar opposites, pretty much, which is pretty interesting. Binge watching you before the trip. Thank you you're so helpful, Jen. No problem. This is why people stop me in Japan when I'm walking around Tokyo, specifically Tokyo mainly. Actually, in a few other places also, but when I'm walking around Tokyo, people might stop me. Hey, Ninja Monkey, and it's basically because they've just binge watched me, and I am fresh in their memory. By the way, please say hello if you do see me. Please say hello. Good evening from the Netherlands, Mark. Good evening. What fizzy drinks do I prefer? Retro Mario, I literally only drink water when I'm walking around Japan. From the vending machines, I only get water. Sometimes I get the Grape Fanta because Grape Fanta is like on another level, and sometimes I get Red Bull Zero, like Red Bull without the sugar. Temperature here is always around 33 to 35. Wow. Just trying to find I'm trying to find questions, to be honest. So, Tommy, how you doing? The vending machines have paracetamol infused sodas. I've never heard that before. I mean, I don't know. Well, in Japan, it's would be and 6:23 in the morning. But I'm not in Japan right now. I'll be in Japan in a few weeks' time again. Don't worry. You like it when I give my opinion. Thank you. Yeah, Mark G. Overtourism is very focused on specific places, but I am still not 100% sure it's at overtourism yet. I mean, unless the bar for tourism is really, really low. I mean, you see, just travel to London, and London is not like on another level compared to other places in Japan. It's as if Japan wants to get to a certain number of tourists, but doesn't want them to go to the popular tourist sites. Basically, that is it, more or less. Hello, how are you doing? We will be in Tokyo next week, then traveling the Triangle and finish the 4 weeks trip in Ishigaki. Oh my God, dude, Ishigaki is amazing. By the way, Bernard, if you don't know, I actually have a second channel. The second channel is The Happy Gaijin, and I did a vlog from Ishigaki that you might want to watch because Ishigaki has become one of my favorite places in the whole of Japan. But I sort of don't categorize it like in the same as, it's sort of its own little thing. Okinawa. Would you recommend a local guide to go to an izakaya and Imoide Yokocho? I don't think you should. Okay, let me carefully answer that question. I was gonna say I don't think you should go to Omedo Yokocho. Um, Omoide Yokocho, I don't think you need a guide to go to Omoide Yokocho. There are so many izakayas that you can walk through and enjoy, and it's a little bit of unfortunately it has become a little bit of a touristy. I don't like using the word tourist trap because I still think it's worth sort of exploring at least once, but it is very touristy, and there are other yokochos that you can explore in which are maybe not as pretty but better in a way. I got this headband in where did I get it? Let me put it straight. In Asakusa, actually. In Asakusa, in one of the tourist places. Japan, you're pretty much on the same freaking wavelength as me. Whenever I say something, I then notice that you've pretty much said the same thing. I mean, people want to go there. I get it. Go do it. Have one, sit down. There's going to be a cover charge. Sit down, have a little bit of if you want to get it out of your system, because it is very beautiful, but very expensive. Yeah. My first day, a drunk streaming with my friends. Really? Hi, Twitter. Let's see. I love Spanish, but know enough to say a few words, but not enough to make a conversation. Okay. Well, I found your channel whilst trying to prepare for my trip with all the information I can get. Your channel is damn cool. Thank you, Samurai Indie. I mean, I'm trying to brand myself as the channel to help you plan your trips so that you don't necessarily need to pay anybody to plan your trips for you. What do you think? Hopefully it's been useful. Yes, join the Discord. Twitter is like Twitter Cliff God. I was gonna say Discord God. Nearly. Towada, I wanted to wear this specifically for you. Specifically for you. I'm glad you're here. Question. Adam has a question. Have you ever been to Shinagawa? Yes, I have. I'm staying there in Tokyo mostly because the hotel was cheap. I was wondering what the area was like. Shinagawa is a little bit more like a business sort of district, but it's fine. It's easy to travel around Japan. It's just not the most interesting or fun locations if you're just gonna stick there. But let's face it, if you're just gonna use it as a hotel and a base, then and you found crucially a cheap hotel, then well done. I never drink in America, but when I go to Japan, well, yeah, you know what, M Rider, I'm kind of similar. Like when I'm here, I drink a lot of Coke Zero, which is probably bad. But when I'm in Japan, I drink a lot of beer. I'm planning a 21-day tour in and out of Tokyo to include Kyoto, Osaka, Kobe, Nara, and Mount Fuji. Possible too ambitious for first time visit. No, dude, 21 days? Are you kidding me? Do it. Seriously, Ivan. I think that's pretty much the golden triangle. In fact, I would say do that and venture out of those places, include different places. You could do 4 or 5 places in Tokyo to start with, then Kyoto and Osaka, sort of bundle them together for another maybe 4 days. Then from Osaka or Kyoto you can do Nara and Kobe, and then you can loop back to Tokyo and do Mount Fuji. But I would actually suggest that if you wanted to sort of like get your 21 days and spend, I don't know, 60% in those areas, and then the other 40% find some areas, some places where which are less popular, like even Kanazawa, go north, Morioka, even Hiroshima, Fukuoka, explore. One of my favorite places is in the prefecture of Hiroshima. It's called Onomichi. It's tiny, it's lovely, I love it. Lots to see. Japan doesn't like pain relief. Is there a capybara cafe? I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. I want to do that now. Question for a group of four, what do you recommend to stay for like 5 days in Osaka, Kyoto, and Tokyo? 3 men and 1 girl. Where do you recommend for me to stay? Look, when it comes to samurai, when it comes to like staying in specific places, I don't know that I should be giving specific hotel like advice, but what I can tell you is that I've actually got lots of videos out there to help you. A hotel guide, how to choose your best hotel, the best areas in Tokyo, etc., etc., etc. How bad is the weather there, specifically Tokyo, Kyoto in late June, early July? Lucas, it's gonna be rainy season. It will rain, but it's not the end of the world. And I've said this a million times, and I think that many of you will agree with me, and that is there's no bad time to go to Japan. The best time to go to Japan is when you can go to Japan. And that depends on when you can get leave of work. It depends on, when you can get the flights that are like affordable enough for you. So if you do end up going during the rainy period and it is rainy and it is the rainy season, then it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean it's going to be raining all freaking day. There might be a day that it rains a lot. There might be a day that it doesn't rain. It just means that you need to be better prepared and you just need to do things slightly differently. It just means that you need to make sure that you pack some waterproofs, and have some comfortable waterproof shoes, etc. But I honestly think that even with Golden Week, which is around May, it's not the best time to go. I recommend that you don't go around Golden Week if there's any time of the year. But if you end up going during Golden Week, make the most of it. There's lots of things that you can do. You can just need to adapt your trip around your needs. Going to Tokyo in the end of May for 2 weeks, looking for hotels. Notice that some hotels not showing availability. Is it too early? Usually hotels they start opening their rooms 6 months before. So we're now August, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, it's too early. That's basically it. There'll be some hotels that will have some availability, but if you mark your calendar for 6 months before your trip, you'll start seeing more availability for sure. That's not to say that you shouldn't maybe book something with free cancellation just in case. I don't think there's an overtourism because they haven't reached the government's own goal. Twitter, that is one of the things, that is one of my arguments. When somebody says to me, there's overtourism in Japan, I say, actually, we're hitting, I think, 35 or 40 million, and the Japanese government's target is 60 million by 2030. So really, is there overtourism? Overtourism would be if there's above 60 million, which is the target, if that makes any sense. Things are crowded, things are not managed very well. That's a whole different conversation and one that I want to get into. But like I mentioned, I need to be very careful. I think that my opinion will be very unpopular. Part of my opinion will be very unpopular. So I just need to be very careful with how I like how I do this video. The places you expect to be crowded are crowded, like Nakamise, Asakusa, and Nishiki Market, exactly. But usually takes just a few minutes walk to find a much quieter spot. And you know what, Bojo Pigeon? That's exactly the same all around the world. You know, like you go to London, you go to Covent Garden, and it's gonna be packed with people. You know, you go to Chinatown in London, it's gonna be absolutely heaving with people. You know, walk a little bit and there's nobody. It's the same everywhere. The only thing is that I think that some countries have embraced it better or have prepared better than others. Some countries are having some areas in certain countries are having some real problems, some real problems, you know. Thanks for the share there, JJI. You went to Hoppy Street and you didn't like it that much. Suika on the phone, normal or welcome Suika? Suika on the phone, 100%. Because you can top it up very easily from your phone without having to go anywhere. Yokocho in Ueno used to be really dangerous and dirty. I don't like it. Hibiya and Asakusa are beautiful and stylish. What recommendations do you have for visiting popular 9 to 5 sites? Best to get there just before opening or wait until later, and I hope the crowds die down. I think that okay, the recommendations for popular 9 to 5 sites would be to potentially, if you can book in advance, book your tickets in advance, then do that. For example, I've seen many people try to go on Shibuya Sky and not be able to get tickets. So get timed entry. That would be one of the things that could alleviate a lot of your problems. Even if you know, and then you can work around the timed entry. If not, I do recommend that you go quite early. Have you spent much time in Saitama? Is there a go-to? Yeah, in Saitama, there is a go-to. What was the place that I went to? Kawa Kawagoe? Kawagoe? Is that in Saitama? Um, I think Kawagoe is in Saitama. Yeah, Kawagoe. Sorry, I had to double check. Kawagoe in Saitama is a really nice go-to area, very easy to access and pretty cool. Will Japanese currency fit in a regular Western wallet? Or are the bills larger? Bill, that is an excellent question and one that's never been asked, but is an excellent question. And the answer is depending on your currency, obviously. I don't know where you're coming from, but compared to the British pounds, they are huge. Do they fit in a normal Western wallet? Kind of, but not perfectly. The World Expo in Kyoto from April. Actually, it's in Osaka. Have you heard of this is going to make it more crowded and harder to book things during this time? I think when it comes to any sort of like major event, it's going to make things more crowded. It will probably make it harder to find accommodation. But what you need to understand is that the expo is incredibly spread out, you know, through many months. So that might actually help the situation. Ivan, thank you so much. I've just seen your super thanks. Arigatou gozaimasu. I am just going to make sure that I can write your name, add your name to the list. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Well, I'm trying to find the questions, any questions, because I see that there's lots of chat going on. Always love to see Tawata in the chat, bringing love and positivity. Daryl, how you doing? Daryl's Natural World. Question, hey Ninja Monkey, buying new luggage in Japan. What do you do with your old but still in good condition luggage currently in Osaka? Thanks for your videos. Um, I've never been in that situation. Never been in that situation, but I'm guessing, my guess would be that you can arrange it with your hotel, the hotel that you're staying in, or alternatively, forget it. I don't think forgetting it is probably is the right approach. But if you know you've tried and you've tried and you've tried to work it out and you can't, then you know what are you gonna do? I'm going to Japan solo, first time out of the USA. Awesome, Connor. It's going to be awesome for 3 weeks from September 21st to October the 12th. Any tips for what clothing to pack for Sendai, Morioka, and Aomori areas for my last week? Well, I would say that things will be still quite mild, but I'm guessing, my guess here, and I think that one of the best things to do is just to look at the 10-day weather forecast just before you sort of leave to get an idea. But my guess here is that especially in Aomori and Morioka in the evenings, it might be a little bit chilly because it's the north now. Thank you, JJI, for that recommendation. Is a week in Hokkaido too much? Planning to go in January. Well, one of the things that you need to really, really, like take into account is that in Hokkaido, it's going to be cold, snowy, and therefore, what are you going to Hokkaido for? I was in Hokkaido for a week and in the summer a few years ago, and it was too little time. I should have stayed longer than a week. But it was summer. I'm not very sure if the snow would help. By the way, Ivan, if you wanted me to change the color of the background, like I mentioned, super chats and donations and that kind of thing, you get to choose the color in the background. Is there a place inland where tourists can fish? That's a really difficult question for somebody who doesn't fish. That's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to guess that yes, I'm going to guess that you could probably fish in many of the lakes and many of the rivers, for sure. Hiroshima Prefecture is not just the city, but Hiroshima Prefecture is an incredible prefecture. Not only do you have Hiroshima the city, you can go to Miyajima Island, but one of my favorite places that I mentioned was Onomichi. I mean, I've been twice. I want to go back because I really, really think that that place is really nice. Okay, Airbnb, then you have it a little bit harder. Nomadic Gaijin in Japan. How do I handle missing friends that live outside of Japan? You know what? I have a friend who's called Luke, and I don't miss him at all. There's nothing that I miss about that dude, apart from his bruised eye and face. How are you doing, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're okay. For every good piece of advice for traveling to Japan, there may be good reason it doesn't apply to you. Very true, Bojo Pigeon. Very true. One of these days, I'm going to make a Japan travel good advice to ignore list. Yes. I mean, like, this is why when people ask me questions like, where should I stay? Or is 3 days in Kyoto enough? It's very difficult for me to answer that because it all depends on things like how long are you in Japan for, how old you are, what are your likes, what are your interests, who are you traveling with. I'm doing a Japan cruise soon. Is there an onsen I could visit whilst in Osaka that is convenient to the port? You know what, Quasical Earth, what you'll find in Osaka, from my experience, is they have fantastic centaurs. Centaurs are not necessarily onsens, as in that they're volcanic in origin, but rather they are public baths. And I've been to some incredible super centaurs in the center of Osaka that have blown me away. That you should definitely consider. So if you can't find like a real onsen, you could go to a sento, which is sometimes better in a way, in a city anyway. What's your experience with Zip Air? Never been with Zip Air, so I cannot recommend or not recommend it. But there you go, Anthony Moreno can. Yeah, we've got like 84 people. How many people have liked this stream? 50 likes, guys. Come on. Let's get it to 80 likes. Maybe you just don't like me talking. Then, don't like if you don't like me talking. You have to pay extra for meals and stuff, but the planes... Okay, yeah, that's like Anthony Moreno says, it's like typical cheap flight sort of thing. I disagree on the overtourism question, but I welcome a difference of opinion. We have to hash it out over a beer sometime. Yeah, I mean, just it's very unfair to have this conversation with you. It's one-sided because I'm talking and you can't talk back. But my overtourism thing is based on what the what the level what are they measuring overtourism? How are they measuring overtourism? Basically, is what I'm saying. Hey, thanks so much for the super chat. Now this was it Quasical Earth? Thanks for the sent advice. Thanks for the sent advice. You're very welcome. Arigatou gozaimasu. Let me add you to the list. Thank you so much, dude. All of these super chats, they do really help me continue making content. I'm a little bit hidden there behind the thank you, but let me just add you to the list. Let me make sure I spell it correctly. I hope that is correct. Hello, Paolo. How are you doing? Let's see. Just trying to find if there's any questions, specific questions to answer. Saitama, Kawagoe is good. Yeah, and the reason why I said Kawagoe is because actually Nomadic Gaijin took me there and it was awesome. We need to go back there. Actually, let's go back there. Let's do like a proper little guide or something. Yeah. He's the one that introduced me to it. By the way, if you don't know who Nomadic Gaijin is this crazy guy who streams for way too long on Twitch. But only because he can do it, because there's no way I could stream for that long. Okay, where are we? I am now starting to go for questions, by the way. Just be aware. So make sure that if you do have a question, you make it clear at Ninja Monkey, or make sure that you write Q or question in front. Yeah, I have Bojo Pigeon. I do actually have a Kawagoe little video that I did. It was fun. My flight home is at 11 p.m. What's the best option for storing my suitcase for the day, or should I forward it to the airport? When it comes to storing your suitcase, I would actually keep it at your hotel if you can. There's a few different options I'm going to give you. Option number one, book yourself an extra night at the hotel so that you can arrive at the airport nice and fresh and showered, and then you won't have a problem because you'll have your luggage basically with you. That's one of the things that I usually do, just because it saves me lots of issues. Option number two, you can ask your hotel to hold your suitcase for you. They usually won't have a problem with that. Option number three, you can leave it in a locker at a station that's convenient to you. Option number four, you can actually send it to the airport. Yeah, Bojo Pigeon, that's what happens with British wallets also. Any more questions? Would you recommend purchasing the Hokuriku Arch Pass for Tokyo Kyoto travel? Lucas, that's a really good question, and I'm gonna give you my two sides to this, okay? It depends what your priorities are. To get from Tokyo to Kyoto using the Hokuriku Arch Pass, you need to go via Kanazawa, and really it's not really very feasible to get from Tokyo to Kyoto in one day. It will take you a very, very long time. If you're going to be staying in Kanazawa and exploring some of those little areas around, then maybe it might be worth it, but probably it might still not be worth it unless you do Kanazawa and some other stops along the way. If your priority is just to get from Tokyo to Kyoto, then the most likelihood just getting individual tickets is the best way to go. Railroad Museum. Ooh, you know what? I went to one in Nagoya and it was pretty darn cool. The one in Nagoya. I already have my hotel and entries for Expo Osaka 2025, but not my flights. Cannot spend on that while I need to save up for the upcoming trip. I know the feeling, dude. I know. Stick with the kick, with the kicks. He is here. Elena, hi, I love your videos. My itinerary will be Tokyo, Osaka, Kinoseki Onsen. Nice. I love it, Kinoseki Onsen. And if you're staying there, even more nice. Kyoto, then back to Tokyo. Do you think my itinerary is too packed? No. But again, guys, if you're going to give me itineraries, please tell me how long you're traveling for. Because if you give me a list of places and you'd... Oh, 2-week trip. Sorry. In 2 weeks, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I think you could do a few days in Tokyo, Osaka. Yeah, you're fine. In fact, you probably have time to maybe fit in one more place. It all depends on how crazy you want your trip to be. Celebiang, thank you so much. Let me just make sure that number one, arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you, my friend, and I'll add you to the little thing now, whilst I read your. Let me add you to the list, dude. Ooh. By the way, if you do choose, if you do have a super chat, then you do get the chance to change the back. I'm gonna make it blue for you, but if you want it a different color, you can tell me. So, I've watched a ton of your content and it's helped me tremendously in planning our first 2-week trip to Japan in December. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, dude. I much appreciate it. Arigatou gozaimasu. Jim Ross. Jim Ross. Where have you been? I sent you a message earlier. Damn, my clock was an hour out for some reason. I'm late, very late. Well, you're here. And thank you so much, Jim. What color do you want? Do you want a color? Let me know. I'm going to make you orange for now. Just because for some reason your thing is orange. So, and let me add you to the list also. Jim Ross. And obviously, I like doing that. It makes it look like I'm the one like throwing the confetti up in the air. Okay, let's carry on with any question. Remember, I am now specifically looking at questions if possible. Can you book popular attractions 6 months before, like you said, for hotels, or do they not allow it? That one's really difficult, Makwa, because it all depends on the attraction. There are some attractions that you have to do it 2 months before, some that are like 3 weeks before. So basically, you need to go through all the attractions and figure out when. And a great way of doing that is through Klook. You can book through Klook. I have an affiliate link. It's on my website, www.ninjasaru.com, and you can search for many attractions on there and at the same time help the channel out. So most important tip for travelers that want to meet locals in Tokyo: drinking, guys, go to izakayas. If you, I think my top tip for meeting locals would be, if you're staying in Tokyo, always try to go to the same izakaya whilst you're there. Eventually, people will start to know you. Another tip that I can give you is take some postcards with you, give them to the izakaya owner, or if you're sitting in the, oh, another tip, very important, this one, whenever you eat, whenever you go to eat, or whenever you go to an izakaya, try to sit at the bar and not on a table, because if you're sitting at a bar, the likelihood is that you're going to end up sitting next to somebody else at the bar who will probably talk to you. So hope that helps. If you're in Japan this fall, maybe you will like Tokyo Midtown Tower. I've been. Santori Museum there is really good. Not, wait a minute, have I been to the Santori Museum? I'm not very sure. Well, in Tokyo in December, I love December, January, February. Those 3 months, they're chilly, they're crisp, but especially in December, especially even towards the end of December, I'd say that there are some days that it can still be mild, you know, but layers. Top 3 ramen restaurants. Oh my god. Actually, I sent one to Japan Ichiban earlier on. This is my not just my top ramen restaurant, but I would say that this is my top meal restaurant I've ever had in my life. And it is called Kanetora Hakata, but it's in Fukuoka. That would be my top one. And you know, everything else, you know, ramen is good everywhere, pretty much, in Japan. Right, I am really focusing now on questions. So, question. Ninja Monkey, do you know about transferring Japanese money earned in Japan to a non-Japanese bank account, that is, to an American bank account? I know that you can do it from a Japanese bank account to a foreign bank account, but there are some crazy fees attached. That's the only thing. Yes, I have been to Kawaguchiko. I even have a whole video about me going to Kawaguchiko that you can find somewhere. Maybe in my Happy Gaijin channel. I can't remember now. Okay, that's really good to know, Philip, because I'm not very sure if I'm going to make it. I'm not very sure if I'm going to actually be able to go, but we'll see. Say if I'm still in Kyoto and send my luggage to my next hotel in Tokyo, what would be the time limit? Okay, should I arrive in my Tokyo hotel within the same day? So Grace, I'm just going to go through a very, very quick sort of like, and obviously this you need to double check with your hotel, you know, the provider. But usually when you want to send your luggage to the next hotel, you need to ask the hotel, I want to send this luggage and I want it to arrive at my next hotel by this specific date. When do I have to send it? And usually they will tell you, if you want it to arrive for tomorrow, then you need to leave it the day before. But it all depends on how far you are. For example, when I was in, where was I? In Beppu. I was in Beppu and I forwarded my luggage to Tokyo, and it was going to take 2 days for it to arrive in Tokyo. So that meant that I had to leave it 3 days in advance. And as for in terms of the limit, usually it's a week. Usually you can forward things even a week in advance into the future, which is something that I do very often. Very often I save money. Instead of using storage or storing my luggage, I have a smaller bag and I send my big luggage a week in advance to a hotel that's 7 days into the future. I'm very sorry, but I don't really have many vegan recommendations because I'm not vegan. What? Hey, do you have a patron available? Much love from me and Michaela. I do. Japan, Ichiban. And how are you doing, Michaela? Can't wait to hopefully see your face again. Awesome. Let me just do a big confetti thingy. Arigatou gozaimasu. And let me make sure that I add you to my lists. Japan, Ichiban, and Michaela, important. Yeah, I do have a Patreon, by the way, if anybody's interested in supporting me on Patreon. It's a great way for me to know, the money that's coming in a month and know how to use it for the channel. I've always made it very, very, I'm very transparent. Money that comes in for YouTube goes back into making YouTube better, traveling to Japan, buying gear, that sort of thing. Let's see. Question: I'm landing in Japan on September 23rd. Is there a chance I can climb Mount Fuji? Probably not. Unfortunately, that will be the end of the Mount Fuji. I think that's the end of the Mount Fuji, season. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that will be over. You have to check. Hello again, Ninja Monkey. I have another question. Do you know if I could use a Japanese debit card to pay for non-Japanese? Well, that depends on your bank provider, unfortunately. About luggage forwarding, can you have your luggage delivered to the next hotel 4 or 5 days later? Yes, you can. Yes, that is a very awesome way of traveling, by the way. Yes. Love your content, very insightful, entertaining. Entertaining, really? I always, my biggest fear is that my content is boring. Seriously. I did a Hokkaido road trip for my honeymoon and we loved Tsurunoyu Onsen and Mount Haguro. Have you been there? No, but now I will add it to my list since you loved it so much. Question: can you buy Ghibli Park tickets anywhere other than the official website? They sell out fast and I was curious if people resell them. I don't know about reselling. I think they're quite strict with the reselling. The only way that I've ever heard of anybody getting one is via the official website. The best eSIM, I'm just going to go through what I use, and that is Sakura Mobile. Not only will you be helping the channel, because I do actually have an affiliate link with Sakura Mobile, which you can scan, or you can go to www.ninjasaru.com and there's a link for Sakura Mobile. Just because I know that their service is good. I don't know. I'm not going to start comparing Sakura Mobile to other providers, but I can tell you that whatever you get is going to be good. So, Sakura Mobile. Narita to Tokyo, depends where in Tokyo. I think the limousine bus can be a very good way of getting to Tokyo. The Narita Express also. It just depends where. Oh, the postcard thing. Basically, you just take some postcards with you from your country, and whenever you meet someone, even if you start a little bit of a conversation, you give them a postcard, and then it will open up a whole new conversation. Team Labs, awesome. Awesome. Let me just have another sip. Look what I have, everyone. Tokyo Banana. But I wanted to show you something else. I got a Tokyo Banana Gachapon. Gacha. Check it out. Isn't that cool? On my last trip. And I wanted to compare it. It's pretty darn cool, huh? So, by the way, I love Tokyo Bananas. I usually have one per week. So, and they actually freeze very well because they defrost very well. So this has been in my freezer. If you're arriving at 8, you have plenty of time to go to Tokyo. Plenty of time. The last trains are anyway at midnight, around midnight, and there's some buses that go a little bit into the morning, so you'll be fine. Unless you're super delayed. Maybe. Sorry. Reira. Have a question. Is it possible to send a package from Japan directly to my home in Europe? Yes. You can do it via the post office. How much it would cost depends on you know, the weight that I mentioned, and restrictions. Usually only like flammable stuff, usually. And yeah, okay, I can see that I'm super slow with so I'm gonna try my best to get to any questions. Actually, I only have Patreon for Ninja Monkey, but I have memberships for both. When people ask about airports, you know, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I would say that from Narita to Asakusa can be very easy to get to, because you can get to Ueno and then, you know, it's like a few stops away from Ueno. Actually, I think you can get to Asakusa directly. If you think Nathan is boring, you should watch his live trunk streams. It's been a while. Okay, deal. I promise you a live drunk stream before the end of the year, okay? It might be a members only one. That's the only thing. They get so crazy that sometimes I end up having to delete them from YouTube or making them like unlisted. Terian, my links, if you go to www.ninjasaru.com, I'll post it. If you go there, then I have links there for all my affiliates. And Nightbot, thank you so much. Thank you, JJI. But there you go. Yeah, the Tokyo Banana is pretty cool. I want to get, you know, make it more heavy duty. I don't want to lose it, but I want to attach it to my bag, to my travel bag. Let's see. It's pretty cool. You know, I've been complaining about this bag. I have this Peak Design bag, which I keep on complaining about because I don't really like it that much. And I've been saying for a while, you know, I need a new bag. You know, it's a very expensive bag, very expensive bag. But it needs to be a good quality bag just so that I can, you know, it keeps my camera gear safe. It's you know, waterproof, showerproof, and that all that kind of thing. And for a very long time, I've been saying to myself, I want to replace it with another brand because I'm not happy with the way that it opens and that kind of thing. But I've been thinking about it recently. I've had this bag since 2018, I believe, or maybe even 2017. So I've had it for 8 years. I can't do maths right now. I think I've had it for 8 years. And that made me think, you know what? Maybe I'll just get the same bag again, even though it's not the best, you know, the layout isn't, and the way that it opens and the way I put things in isn't like ideal. But the fact that it was really expensive, and I really do feel that I've got my money's worth. I probably have a few more trips left with it, unless I can find like a deal or something. Is visit to Spa World Onsen in Osaka worthwhile? Like I mentioned before, there are lots of sentos in Osaka, which I absolutely love. Do you love onsen? Do you like sento? Then, you know, visit. Are you from Wales, and what's your story? Do you think I'm from Wales? My question to you, Tarian, why did you ask that question? That is my question to you, and then I will answer the question. It took a banana keychain, I know. And you know what the crazy thing is? That this gacha machine was in Tokyo Station. And the worst thing is that I now know where the gacha machine is in Tokyo Station. And I think it's gonna become like an obsession of mine. Yeah. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go, and if I get a repeat every trip, I'll go and I'll try and get another one because there's a whole collection of them. And every repeat. So if I get this one again, for example, I will do some kind of a giveaway to members or something like that. How does that sound? As a visually impaired traveler, should I have two canes? One indoor, one for outdoor. I don't want to insult the inside with outside dirt. I don't, you know what? I'm just gonna go as far as saying I'm not qualified to answer that question, but I will give you my sort of like assumption here, and that is that I think you should just use one cane, and I don't think people will be offended. Um, so don't worry. Thank you for your recommendations, Tawada. It's all about getting a bag that fits my camera, that fits the lenses, that and crucially that can actually have like a water bottle, a big water bottle, you know, in the exterior, and that is waterproof, that kind of thing. My accent, okay. So my accent is actually from Gibraltar. So I actually live in Gibraltar, and for those of you who don't know, Gibraltar is a little tiny overseas territory. Let me find it's a little tiny overseas British territory in on the very south tip of Spain. So if I do this, maybe I can give you an idea. Will it work? No, I can't, sorry. But I was going to show you a map of where I live. So this is a very typical Gibraltar accent. However, I lived in Wales for about 4 years, maybe 5 years. I studied in Wales, and yeah, so maybe there's a little bit of a Welsh twang there from my university years left behind. I'm not very sure, but Fukuoka is a lovely city any time of the year. Yeah, Tawada, I've seen some people, visually impaired people with canes. I've never seen people with two canes. I've only seen with one. So, hmm. Okay, guys, if we're gonna start sort of closing things in the next 10 minutes or so. So if you do have any questions, now is your chance. I do want to say a big thank you to Lorna Gray, to Ivan, to Quizzical Earth, Caleb Young, Jim Ross, Japan Japanese Japan, and Michaela, by the way, for your support on the stream. And as always, I do have a Patreon, and there are many different ways for you to support. You don't have to support financially if you don't want to. You can support just by hitting the like button, by subscribing, and by sharing my content. You know, you get it for free, but it does take me many hours, many times to put all of this stuff together for you. So just a like and a comment in my videos will go a long way, believe you me. Do you know of a place that's similar to Akihabara in Hiroshima City? You know, I'm not very sure. I think first of all that that Akihabara is very unique, and even in Osaka, and Denden town in Osaka, which is supposed to be, I believe, the Akihabara of Osaka, even that is kind of limited. So I'm not too sure where I would point you to in those areas. The FOMO is real, Jim Ross. The FOMO is real. I mean, you know what? I think the whole Tokyo Banana thing is just become a habit now. There's things that are better than Tokyo Banana, but it's what I've sort of like ended up getting now as a little reminder of Japan. One day, dude. Awesome. Okinawa in the winter. I've never been to Okinawa in the winter. Is it worth it? Probably. Will it be warm enough to swim? I'm not sure. Will it be warmer than the rest of Japan? Absolutely. So that's a little bit of a loaded statement there. I'm not very sure if it's a very useful statement. But Okinawa is supposedly very similar to the climate is very similar to where I live here in the south of Spain in the Mediterranean. Um, and here we have the only difference is that we have a wet season now. Like winter is a wet season, which I don't think Okinawa has, because the winter can be quite dry in Japan. Yeah, Bojo Pigeon. Definitely, I agree. Agent Pew Pew, how are you doing? Pew 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 Pew. We're starting to end the stream, just letting you know. So if you do have any questions, sneak them in. Are all you can eat Wagyu places like Butcher's Kitchen worth the price? Hmm. Are you getting good quality Wagyu? You're probably not getting the top quality. I think that if you want to get Wagyu, I think you're probably better off going somewhere where somebody's going to cook it, perfectly for you. Spend the money. Salut. Salut to you. Yeah, I love watching shows that remind me of Tokyo and Japan. By the way, nobody's asked me to change the color, and I'm getting bored of this color. So, let's make it. Bean, arigatou gozaimasu, dude. Thank you so much. Let me add you to the list. And obviously, arigatou gozaimasu. Right, bean. Some awesome support today. Much love. I feel the love. Hey, hello, or good evening. The only question is how hot will it be from mid-October to the beginning of November? From my experience, and I usually go towards the end of October and the beginning of November, my experience is that it's sort of like it can be still relatively mild with a light jacket, but a little bit cooler at night. I asked you to change the purple, completely blanked me. What? Well, now it's purple. I didn't blank it. It's purple. What? You missed the money sound? What? Oh, the monkey. Wait a minute. Does it work? Let's try it. Because the thing is that since I've come back, I've been trying to sort of like get my mojo back. Let's see. Did it work? Did the monkey sound work? If it did, then it will be added in the next stream. Do you recommend using any of those local tours? I've been watching YouTube videos. You know what? It can be very useful for you to do a local tour for very specific things. Very specific things. I think that like a general tour of Tokyo or general tour of something you can do on your own. However, some local guides can be very useful. For example, if you are interested in specific ones, I know that Nomadic Gaijin, he does a tour of Akabane, a drinking tour, that sort of thing. He's a friend of mine, and you'd probably have loads of fun with him. I know that in Kyoto and Osaka and Nara, a little bit of Japan, another friend of mine, he does tours, and in that respect, I send my friends to Japan Japan. Sorry, to a little bit of Japan, and he little took them on a Kyoto tour by car, and that was really good because Kyoto can be quite difficult to travel around, and it was the peak of the summer, and it was nice for them to be like driven around in air conditioned. So it all depends on the time of the year and what you're going to be doing. Am I considering? I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure if I want to go, to be honest. Auntie, how are you doing? I'm just about to end the stream. Just about to end the stream. Just about, dude. Yeah, things like that, bar hopping tours. I mean, for those of you who have allergies, I think joining a food tour can be a very good way of getting a sense of how to go about the allergy thing, especially if you get, if you obviously you tell the tour guide in advance that you have allergies, and they should sort it out for you, right? Yes, it worked. Nice. Love my videos. Arigatou gozaimasu. Much appreciated. Yes, Vigil, I have to agree with you, and I think that Takayama Hida beef, for me, is the best beef I've ever had in Japan. And this time round, I had Ishigaki beef, which apparently was amazing, but it was good, but it just wasn't good as good as Hida beef. I also had Miyazaki beef, which is supposed to be like, whoa, like mind blowing. It was pretty darn good, but still, I don't think it was good as Hida beef. So I 100% agree with you. Yeah, I'm not very sure how I feel about the loss, but I think I need the hype to die down a bit. Yes, they help. Well, at least psychologically they help. Guys, it is now 67 likes. Do you think we can get to 80 likes? I don't know. Have you liked it? Have I liked this video? Have I even liked my own video? That is a very good question. I might not have even liked my own video. You know what? Now I've liked my own video. I hadn't liked my own video. But yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to call it a night, everyone. It's always amazing to do the live streams. Love it. We'll see. Thanks for liking, everyone. Got over 70 now. And once again, I just want to do a quick thank you to Lord McGray, Ivan, Quizzical Earth, Caleb Yang, Jim Ross, Japan and Michaela, and Bean for your financial support. And also a reminder that if you are interested in my second channel, Happy Gaijin, which I do have a second channel, that's a channel where I try to do this sort of thing, but in the streets of Japan, walking around Japan when I'm in Japan. I do also do this on a Wednesday, but I'm starting to go vertical just to sort of set it a little bit apart from this stream. And I put vlogs on that stream also. So on that stream, I put vlogs on that channel also. If you want to support me even further, then consider joining my Patreon. But yeah, it's been fun. I've got to start working on this weekend's video. Hopefully I have something for you. And yeah, take care. Hida beef is the bomb. It's amazing. All right, time to say goodnight. Thanks for watching. I'm glad the audio worked this time round, and thanks for everything. Stay positive, everyone, and be a happy gaijin. And if you've been watching all the way to the end, and this is just for those of you who are watching on the replay, but if you've been watching all the way to the end, then you might want to watch this video that YouTube is going to maybe recommend because it thinks that you like it.